You wanna say something? Yeah? Do you wanna tell them that you are very pretty? Are you very pretty? Yes, you are. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special guest here with me. Miss Karen wanted to say hi. And but yeah, I have a journal with me video today. I hope you guys enjoy. But without further ado, let's get started. Right, Karen? Yeah? Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing Karen. She's a very interesting chicken. She's definitely not your regular chicken. She's more like a pet. We always have to be careful with her because she's constantly trying to get into the house. She wants to be in the house all the time. So we have to constantly watch out for her so she doesn't sneak in inside of the house. She loves to be picked up for some reason. I don't know why. She complains if we put her down on the floor. You know, when she sees us, she runs into us and starts complaining so we can pick her up. She's a very funny chicken. She's funny. She's definitely funny. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy seeing her for a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. So this is a journal with me video. As if you watch any of my journal videos, you know I split the week into 2 different parts. So this is part 1. So I'll split the week into Monday through Wednesday and then from Thursday through Sunday. So 2 parts, so that way the videos don't get too long, so you guys still get a good amount of layouts that you can see it and get some inspiration from, but without having that long of a video. So the part 2 will be the journal for Thursday all the way through Sunday. So this is June 22nd. This was a Monday. This is my first layout here, and I decided to go with a vintage layout. Surprise, no. I absolutely love vintage, but also the reason why I decided to go with vintage for this layout is because I spent a good amount of time in this day actually going to antique shops. So I thought it was very fitting to have a vintage layout for this day. So I decided to grab a lot of the items that I actually purchased in those antique shops that I visited on Monday. So this catalog that you see me ripping the pages out of, it's actually one of the items that I purchased in one of those local antique shops here. And if you like vintage papers and vintage hauls, I do have a haul that shows you all the paper bits and goodies that I purchased from those antique shops. So I'll link it above here on the screen if you want to check it out later if you haven't had the chance to watch that video yet. But anyway, so besides those catalogs advertisement that I got it, I also got a couple of different sewing patterns, and I'm gonna be using some of those as well in this layout. And that paper doll that you saw me picking up to use on the layout, that one is from Tim Holtz. It's not truly a vintage item, but it is a vintage themed. I absolutely love anything that is from Tim Holtz, even though it is not truly vintage, it has the vintage look. I'm good with that. It's enough for me. But anyways, and it's so funny because I used to be so skeptical of using those paper dolls, especially not the paper dolls, the illustration dolls, but those ones, they're actually old pictures. I just thought it was so creepy to have old pictures of random people in your journals. But I started to learn to appreciate to use them into my layouts, and especially when I'm using in my vintage layouts, it's just added such a so much character to the layout, to the page. So it definitely changed my mind. I absolutely love right now to use those paper dolls. Any vintage photo really I think it definitely adds a character to the layout, to the spread. But anyway, so what I'm doing here, because I decided to go with a vintage theme, I decided to kind of break it out a little bit, this white from that paper. If you know anything about my traveler's notebook setup, I actually use one of the inserts from Traveler's Company. This is the 003 insert. This is a blank MD paper, and it's a white paper, so sometimes the whiteness of the paper really screams very loud. And because I was going with the vintage theme, I wanted to break it up a little bit white, so I decided to distress the paper with some of my distress inks from Tim Holtz. I used two colors today. I used the Antique Linen, that's the yellow, lighter yellow one, and I used that one throughout the entire page. And then I went in with a brown one, which is a darker color, that's the Vintage Photo, just at the edges of the page, just to add that more of a old paper look. Anyway, so that paper that you saw me stamping, that is actually another item that I grabbed from those antique shops. It's just a sewing pattern that I got it from Simplicity. It's from the 1980s. I got it for so cheap. It was like 50 cents for the package. I still couldn't believe it. And I know it's nothing special, it's just a tissue paper, but I just love the texture of the paper, and I absolutely love it to use it to just layer with different papers. It's a good paper to use for paper collage because it doesn't add a lot of of volume to your insert. So I love those papers. They are very thin, like tissue papers. So I just went in with one of my wood stamps that I got at Michael's from the Recollections. It's just a letter wood stamp, and I just stamped with one of my favorite ink pads. That is the Drew Drop from the Memento line, and it's just the black ink one. But yeah, I'm just gonna edit those items into the page. I grabbed some book page as well, just to edit on the background underneath the marketing that I'm using right there. And this day I didn't have a lot of journaling. So literally this paper that you saw me ripping from the book, which I ripped one of the first few pages from the book that was empty. It didn't have anything written on it. I just ripped that kind of like a square, and I added to the layout, and that's gonna be the space where I'm gonna use to journal. This day I literally had absolutely almost like nothing in my journal. I just had a very small paragraph summarizing my day, and that was about it. So I didn't need a lot of space, so I was able to go to town with the decoration and just leave very little to journal. And the reason why I know that is because if you don't know that about me, I think I mentioned that before in another video, but I use a note app in my phone. And how I keep up with my daily journal is every night when I'm already in bed, before I go to sleep, I just write down, and I journal. I journal on my phone. And the reason being is because I don't have time every day to sit down and decorate the pages on my journal, especially right now that I'm filming. I mean, I can do that at night. It's just I don't have good lighting at night or anything like that. So I have to really plan when I'm decorating my journal pages. So in order for me to be able to keep up with my daily journals, I do have to, do that. I write it down every night when I'm already in bed before going to sleep. I just write it down in my notes app on my phone. And sometimes, depending on what happened that day, I have a lot to write, but sometimes I just have, I'm tired, I'm not in a mood to write, nothing really special happened that day, so I just write it down very quickly, summary of what happened that day, one paragraph, it's enough. The good thing about that is that when I have time to decorate my journal and I sit down to actually decorate my journal, I can quickly go back to those entries that I have in my note app, and I can quickly read it, and I know exactly the theme of my page based on what happened that day. I try to really decorate my pages based on what happened that day. Sometimes there's really nothing going on that day, and there's nothing really that pulls my attention that I could use as a theme. So if that's the case, then I get creative and I decorate the page how I prefer, with vintage or florals or whatever I'm feeling like that day. But most of my layouts, I try to incorporate something in that layout that reminds me of what happened that day. Either some piece of ephemera that I encountered throughout the day, either like a piece of napkin, a business card, something from a restaurant that I ate that day, or like this day here, I went to antique shops and I bought some paper goodies, so I'm using some of those papers that I purchased on this day for my layout. So, but doing that way helps me to really come up with different themes, because I know exactly what happened that day. I don't have to try to remember, a couple of days later, and try to scramble to remember and write it something. I can quickly go back to those notes and read it, what happened that day. And that's it. So it definitely helps me to keep up with my daily journals. I don't think if I was not doing that, I don't think I would be able to keep up with my daily journals. I tried that before, of just trying to, whenever I had time to sit down, I would try to remember what happened a couple of days before, but my mind is just I can't. My brain does not function that way. It's just I have a short my short memory is just horrible, and I think it's like my brain works in a way that's, I'm a very logical person, so for me, I just remember of things that to me it makes sense, it's important. So I mentioned that before, like remembering what I ate last week or what errands I ran, or unless it was something very special that happened that day, I'm not gonna remember. And I was just it just got so frustrating to the point that me trying to journal a week later and do not remember what happened, so I just decided that was not working for me. So that's why it's the way that I found that I can keep up with my daily journal. But anyways, moving on, rambling as always. So I'm trying to remember here if I added anything else to that other layout that I could tell you guys. I just added some washi tapes from Tim Holtz as well. And I think that's pretty much it. I didn't add anything else. All the other papers were all vintage papers that I got from those antique shops, and I have all of them in the vintage haul. But yeah, for the second day, this was a Tuesday, I decided to go with a very, how you can say, very girly layout. Like I said, this was a very good example of a day that really nothing crazy happened. There was nothing like special or different that I could use to decorate my pages. So I decided to go with a very girly theme. So I decided to use up one of the pages completely just for decoration. Again, I just had one paragraph. I had a little bit more of writing on this day than the day before, but not as much. So I just decided to just use some of my wood stamps and go to town with my stamps, I'm not a crazy, what I noticed is like, as much as I absolutely love wood stamps, I don't use them as much as I should in my layouts. I don't utilize them as much as I should be. So I try to incorporate a little bit more of the wood stamps. So I use some of those wildflowers wood stamps that I have, and some of this wild grass. The wild grass was gifted to me by one of my pen pals, and the wildflowers I got it at Michael's. And I'm just using my Dewdrop ink pads. I just use a pink one and a green one for the grass, and that's pretty much it. I just went randomly and stamped throughout the entire page. And I grabbed this book that I got from a cheek shop as well. It's just a verse, American and British verse book. And it's a very old book. The pages are super yellow. I absolutely love, and it has beautiful verses. So I just decided to grab one and make it kind of like the centerpiece of that page. So I'm just literally just gonna glue down with some washi tape, and that's it. The washi tape that I'm using here, it's a pink floral with some gold, details washi tape, and that one is from Wanton in a Million, from Cynthia Cole. That's the artist that creates this washi tape. And this is a very kawaii line, so all of the washi tapes are very pink, and is very cute. But I thought was very fitting. But anyway, so I just grabbed another piece of a book page, and I added a little bit of a square, and I added some of the same old book page from the verse book, and I added another square there just to add a little bit of a paper collage here. And I'm using one of the Peon doll stickers right here with some flowers, and those flowers that I'm using, they are all from a sticker pad that I got at Michael's. Those are from the Happy Planner collection. I really like this sticker pad. It has a lot of very beautiful flowers stickers. You get so many, so it's not that cheap. It's about $20 for the entire sticker pad. But you get so many stickers that is totally worth it. If you compare, if you purchase some stickers in a small shop, you maybe get 2 or 3, papers worth of stickers, and that's pretty much it for the same amount. So it's definitely a cheap compared to how many stickers you get it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this layout. I'm leaving it very simple. I'm just gonna come in with the last layout. This is for Wednesday, June 24th. For this day here, I decided to go with a very brown, cream, white theme. And the reason why, it's because I decided to add a tag that I got it from a blouse that I purchased this day. So the tag that came with this blouse was this very cute tag that had like a French pastry recipe. And I thought it was just so clever of them to add a recipe to a tag. But anyway, so that was the only really crazy thing that not crazy, but the only, I guess, interesting thing that happened that day. I did some shopping. I bought myself some clothing items. So that's all that you got for this day, folks. Nothing special, but hey, you still can make a pretty layout with something ordinary, right? That's the fun of journaling. Even when there's nothing crazy happening, I still like to document. I know some people don't like to document daily for the same reason, because they don't think every day is worth journaling. And I understand I understand that point of view. Because yeah, there's some days that really there's nothing crazy going on. But I don't know, journaling for me, it's a very creative outlet. I truly enjoyed, and even if there's nothing really happening, to see a synopsis of your entire month, or of your entire year, and know exactly what happened every day, even if it's nothing interesting, but you know exactly, you can go back and know exactly what happened in a given day of your life. It's amazing. I remember one of you guys asked me in a comment before one of my previous videos, what was the question? Or give me the not the courage, but it give me the, gosh, I can't remember. Why can I not remember the word? My brain, it cannot function. Why am I like that? I'm trying to go back here in my comments. I'm cheating because I cannot remember the word. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? Just give me 1 second here, guys. Oh yeah, motivation. What will motivate me? And it was from she was asking, how do you motivate yourself to journal every day? And one of the main reasons is the fact that I can always go back and see what happened that day. I remember I've been journaling for a long time, guys. Like I was like a teenager and I was already journaling. I was like maybe 12, 13 years old, and I remember already carrying journals around with me and journaling daily. And of course, throughout the years, there's some from time to time I stopped journaling. It was something that it eventually went away and then came back. It was always in my life somehow, but there is some part of my life that I definitely stopped journaling, and I truly regret it. And then that's what I answered to her. It's like there's certain events that happened in my life that I wished I had, I had kept a memory of that I could have could come back and read what happened that day. And like I said, it's like not every day, because some days, like I said, there's nothing really going on, but there's a lot of events that happen in my life, like good and bad, that I wish I had a record of that, and I don't. And those are the things that really regret, it makes me regret stopping journaling. That's one of the things that motivates me. I want to go back and remember of things that happened. Plus, I really hope I grow old enough that I can have kids and grandkids, and I can go back and read my adventures and how I used to live life, and if they are curious enough about their grandma's life. I wish my grandma had something like that, or my mother. I think it's very interesting. Journaling, it's a very interesting art. One of the most smart people in this world used to journal. So that's enough reason. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's just like it's really a creative outlet for me. So even when there's really nothing crazy going on, I still like to journal. Plus, it gives you an incentive. You're gonna journal about it, so you better make a good use out of your day, right? It might be your last one. So it really brings a perspective in that sense as well. That it's like, oh, I'm gonna journal about this and I have nothing to say about it. It's like nothing really happened. I didn't have a good day. So it brings an interesting perspective to live your life to the fullest, because you're constantly, recording and keep memento of everything that happens. You go back a week and it's like, gosh, nothing happened this week. I gotta do something about it. You know, maybe I should move out of the couch and stop, you know what I mean. I hope you do. I'm rambling again. Oh my God. Please forgive me. But anyways, going back to the layout here, guys. So as you can see here, I used on both sides some craft paper. I just covered completely the pages. So I had this brown background, and then I came in on the both corners on the left and right, and I added some of this tissue paper that I got it from the antique shop. Those are the same patterns, the sewing patterns that I got it. And I'm adding some stickers. Those stickers, please forgive me, I have no idea where they are from. I got it from one of my pen pals. They're just washi tapes that I just fussy cut and glued there. That paper that I'm using with a lot of numbers, that one is from Tim Holtz. The butterfly that I'm using is Tim Holtz, and that postage stamp there, I also got it from one of the antique shops. I got it from that envelope bundle that I bought it from an antique shop here, and it had a bunch of French postage stamps. And how clever it's a French postage stamp, and I have a French pastry on the left recipe. I mean, if that's not destiny. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. I am going to add a little bit more of a wood stamp again, and some extra stickers to the left. You see those little circles stickers. It was also from my pen pal. I have no idea where she got that from. It's also a washi sticker. But yeah, so I decided to just added some white paper underneath it all. I just thought everything was too transparent. And they're gonna notice that when I try to pull that that phrase right there, it kind of like, because it is a washi tape, it kind of pulled a little bit of the tissue paper, because the tissue paper is so thin. So that was bothering me so much. You're gonna notice that I'm gonna come in with those circle stickers, and I'm going to cover one of the words just so I can cover that, because it was really bothering me. Anyways, if you guys noticed, today I'm using that very very bad, I was going to swear, I'm not gonna do that, but oh, what, this glue stick, oh my God, look, it keeps falling. It's just like, I was so irritated. By now I was just like so stressed out. I forgot to buy more of my multi-surface glue stick that I get at Michael's, from the Recollections one, the white one that you always see me using. I really like that one, but I ran out of it and I forgot to buy more. And I'm lazy and I don't go to my Michael's. And I needed to record those videos, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna use the craft bond. But I just regret it so much. This glue is so bad, like it's so bad. I can't believe how bad it is. I don't even know how they can still sell those glues, because it's so bad. It's just like it sticks everywhere, the paper doesn't glue down. It's just horrible. Anyways, sorry about the rant. I'm just going in with my Jelly Roll Sakura Jelly Roll pen in number 10, and I'm just adding the date and the days as well. The day as well in this tag right there. That was one of the washi stickers that I fussy cut. And that's pretty much it for this layout. I am done here with all of the layouts. I'm just gonna bring it in a bit. No, I'm lying. I forgot. I still had the wood stamps. See, I really tried to use wood stamps this time. I was really feeling like stamping my layouts this time. So I just used this same wood stamp, the wild grass, with some of this white ink. I don't super love this ink. It's not my favorite. It's from the Brilliance pigment ink. The color is Moonlight White. Not my favorite at all. I like the Dewdrop, but that's the only white one that I have. But anyways, guys, now I'm done. I'm just gonna bring it in close so you guys can see all the details of the pages that we worked today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found somehow inspirational for you. And yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, consider subscribing. I make videos related to traveler's notebook and all of that fun stuff. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow.